Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Carla.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
So you were on last week too, right?
I was.
And somebody didn't want this whole beginning part recorded, and I swear I started recording, but it didn't save the recording. I don't know if because I paused it or what. So this time we're gonna do it again for everyone jumps on. I would like to know, though, as we're jumping on, how many people were not on the call last week. So if you missed last week's call, if you would just type in the chat, like, I wasn't here last week. So, because I don't want to just repeat all the same things to the same people, but if we have a lot of people that were not on the call last week, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page and you guys are not confused. Okay, so we've got a few of you guys. Okay, perfect. We still have people jumping on. We have like 2 minutes before 10. So and anybody that was on last week, do you have any questions that we didn't answer last week? And I'm sure there's probably a few that we want to make sure we cover today. You can unmute yourself and let me know that too. Because when there's confusion, I think things don't usually run as smooth and we don't follow through as much. So for those of you that were here last week, how is that going? Have you got your groups together? Do you have any questions? I'm going to also put in there the folder link. Actually, so I did recreate the, actually that's a lie. My assistant did recreate the PowerPoint and so that there are some resources in there that you guys can use. Okay. Sorry, this thing is not pulling up. Had it all pulled up on my laptop last night. Okay, we've got more people jumping into the weight room. Okay, we've got 13 more people popping on right now. Oh, 3 more popping in after that. Okay, so nobody has any questions from last week. You guys are all good, or did we kind of have this call and then everybody focused on BOGOs and now we're just thinking about it for the first time since then? I think that might be what is happening. Okay. So. Okay. So I would like to share this. So I shared this link last week, but I'm going to share it in the chat again. Before we get started, so you guys can have so this is a new folder that we created just for our team. If you guys have any resources that you want to add, feel free to add them on there. And I think we're just going to go ahead and get started as people. Okay, Kyle's on now too. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I did want to show you guys a couple of things that we added to that thought folder that I just shared with you guys. Just trying to admit people while I do other things, and it's not working out so well for me. Okay. So sharing my screen. So I just shared this link in the chat. You guys can all open it, but you can see like we did put the Natural Solutions PDF if you want to use it. It's just been, you know, rebranded to our team instead of Christina's team. So you can use this if you would like. We also, there's the, you know, kind of the invite if you wanted to use it for the Wellness Week is in there. If anybody wanted to make their own, you're welcome to add them to there too. And then the referral program, that is in there too. One thing that I want to make super clear and should probably add on this to the I should probably just add an asterisk at the bottom. So if you want to do a referral program for Wellness Week, I just want you to understand you guys are responsible for those points. So whether you want to do this or not is totally up to you. I personally think it's really worthwhile to have the people that come to week 1 inviting people to week 2 and redoing it, because that's where we're really going to get massive duplication and a lot more people enrolling. So I would recommend doing that, but this is something that, you know, we provided the graphic for, but it just would be mayhem to have everyone sending me like questions saying like, okay, well, there's 50 points for these 5 people. So this is all going to be taken care of in your teams of 5. You guys can determine how to do that. You can talk to your enrollers and see what they're willing to help with, but this is something that you'll just kind of have to figure out where that's coming from, or if you want to do a different type of incentive, you also can do that and just make your own image. I will be doing some prizes. So I will have prizes every week for the team that has the most enrollments. So this spreadsheet, I would really like to track on our team the numbers and how things are working so that we can go back and adjust and change things. Because some teams are probably going to kill it, maybe other teams it might sort of work for. So that's really important for us to understand, so we can go and find it out, like what didn't work or what slight things need to be tweaked. And that's one thing that I found in doTERRA is there's so many people that are almost doing the same thing, yet some people are just killing it and other people are not having that success and they're getting frustrated. And usually they're just some small tweaks or different things that need to be happening. So this first week, I will reimburse the team that has the most enrollments. I will reimburse your convention ticket for all 5 of those people on that team. Okay. And if you're not going to convention, you can give it to somebody else, but you should all go to convention. But that's what I'll be doing, is reimbursing a convention ticket for all 5 of those people on your team. And then each week I'll do another incentive. At the end, the team that has the most enrollments, I'll give $100 cash to each one on that team. So it's really important though that we are tracking our analytics. So right here, there's only 5 teams, but I'll add this to as many teams that we need to. But I would like you to put a designated team leader for each one, because I want to be able to kind of reach out to that team leader, and we want it to be really clear. One thing I've seen struggle is when there's a bunch of leaders and no one really knows who's leading, then people kind of are waiting around for other people. So we need one like designated team leader that's creating the WhatsApp group, that's tracking the numbers, that's, you know, kind of in charge of reporting on the Google Sheet. And so this is where we'll do that. I think it has the things it needs in here, but so you'd have your team leader, but then you'd have like, you know, maybe we had Carla here and Krista here and Grace here. Like, you want to put your the names of each of the people, and each of them will track how many people they invited and how many of those people enrolled. Does that make sense? So I'm going to, I might actually move this up a little bit. There's also another tab down here for you guys to track your prizes. Work with your groups to determine what prizes you're going to give out and what you guys are going to do, work with your enrollers. But this is going to be on an individual basis for your team. So this is, you know, between you and the other 4 people, you guys want to be really clear on who's bringing what prizes, where they're being offered, and that type of thing. Otherwise, it's going to get really confusing. And if you can't promote a prize adequately, then the prize really doesn't hold its value. So you want people to be showing up, to be engaging in that WhatsApp group, to be sharing things, because there's prizes for that. So these are mostly for the prizes that are obviously the people that are going to be participating as the prospects in the WhatsApp group. So that's there for you to kind of track that, if that makes sense. So that is all I wanted to share with that. Okay, so do we have any questions on that so far? Okay, and then Kyle, are you on here? I think we had, Carl,
Yeah.
gonna share. Do you want to go ahead and add your piece? I know that you had looked at some ways you wanted to simplify.
Well, you know, I think the big thing is, you know, as you know, and I hope this is okay to say, but like, as I was coming off of the call last week and was trying to organize, you know, who are the 5 people going to be in our group, and, you know, who is going to record the video testimonials for, you know, each of the 5 days.
So each of those 5 should record videos.
Right. So but you know, kind of organizing all of that, and then doing it 4 times in a row, and then who's going to be teaching the class on Saturday, or, you know, or all 5 of us. And so I just wanted to kind of
videos, you use the same videos for the whole month, because it's still that same group of 5 every week.
Sure. But you still have, you know, you still have a class that you're teaching 2 classes each Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then potentially a third business, you know, presentation that you're either teaching at the end of those classes, or you're also teaching it, or if you wanted to, you could teach it separately. So the point being is there's a lot that goes into like organizing it all. And so I just wanted to give those of you, you know, I just wanted to give everyone permission to participate or create it in a way that works for you, right? Like, so one of the things that we had talked about doing was only doing 2 weeks of the 4 weeks, right? And of course, you know, that might not qualify you for some of the prizes that Melina is talking about specifically, you know, for this specific thing. But I just kind of want to throw that disclaimer in there for you, that do this, you know, in a way that doesn't make you and maybe your leaders feel like you're running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, right? If it works for you to just do 2 of those weeks, or 3 of those weeks, or even 1 of those weeks, obviously.
Better for you to do 1 or 2 than none. So if you feel like it's all or nothing.
Exactly. So I just think that was really important, because even as I was organizing last week, I started to feel overwhelmed. I was like, okay, like I haven't heard back from, there was a few people in our team that automatically we were going to do some stuff with, but I haven't heard back from the people that are going to do the video ones. And I imagine that that's going to be kind of common, right? And so anyway, maybe it would be good, and we can post this in EO Pro or whatever in your Facebook group, but I think it might be good to start creating a collection. Of course, it's going to be better if one of the five people, one of the five leaders is the one that records that video for adaptive or whatever it might be. But there could be groups out there where maybe they don't get those five people to record them. And so it might be helpful to have kind of a,
So we have
within
that
that
Google
Google,
Doc, yeah, that people could,
yeah,
I think,
where we
folder in
could
their
start,
videos.
we could start uploading even videos that, all of us have done, right? And testimonials related to each of those things, so that anyone can just kind of grab it and they can go with it without having to stress maybe necessarily about, having somebody record that video. So if you will create that folder in there, I will, I'll go ahead and upload videos that we have on those oils for all of those oils. So there's at least one generic version of it that people can use, and then testimonials that go along with it. So just kind of wanted to point that out. I'm excited and I really love the idea. I think it's, I think that here's the thing that I have learned about doTERRA is that our responsibility as leaders is to create campaigns that our teams can be excited about inviting people to. When you don't have something like that going on in your business, momentum kind of, it can still be there, but it's just not at the same level that it could be. And so this is an awesome opportunity for people to have something already that they can invite people to. So those were just a couple of the things that I wanted to say, not necessarily about, social media or anything like that. We can talk about that in a minute. And then I don't know if it would be a good time now to kind of have, Carla or others kind of share maybe how they've applied it in a little bit different way, or just to kind of give a lot of you some ideas, right? On ways that you can do it that, is still following the same principles of it, but might be a little bit different than it itself. So I don't know, is now a good time for
Yeah,
that?
I think that would be great. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I do feel like sometimes we feel like, okay, we need to do all of it or nothing. And then we end up doing nothing because we're overwhelmed. So you can obviously adjust that. One thing I would mention is the goal, at least for me in this, is all of those people that you have attending the first week, like how great if a couple of them refer a few people. So what I do like about that is it does help with that duplication, or the people that just enrolled with BOGOs, like they don't know what to do. They don't know where to get started. And so to have something like this in place that they can easily invite people to, and they don't have to really do anything, but we've got that engagement. So people are actually attending the classes. So my hope is that it does kind of pick up momentum each week. Now, obviously, if by week 3, there's going to only be a handful of prospects in that WhatsApp, and it's going to be a little bit more awkward, then you'll have to be more active as those 5 leaders in communicating and asking questions, so it doesn't feel like that you never want a group that feels dead and stiff, right? And so we want to keep that momentum going. But if it's not, then it wouldn't really make sense to do all 4 weeks if you don't have enough people to have in that 4th week. But what I envision is that each week will have more people, because it kind of is a snowball effect. And I think that would be really, really great. But yeah, I'd love to hear Carla's take on this.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Because I know Carla, and Carla has to leave at the top of the hour, so we'll make sure we get her in here. But maybe if we could give, I don't know if I missed this in the beginning, there's a lot of people who maybe were on last week but don't remember. Is there a way to kind of go through a real quick outline? And yes, we're recording it this week so that hopefully everyone can get it back, the recording, but maybe let's go through.
So I did share the folder with you guys. If you just kind of want to open that up. And I can't, oh, that's not the right thing. so I'll pull up the folder again, but basically I heard from Christina Bedell, and she, I heard from her in May, and I thought, okay, that's awesome, but we were just getting tons and tons of stuff in May that I didn't really have a time to wrap my head around it. Then I heard from her again at the Snowbird, and what she did here is she basically had this plan for massive enrollments. And Christina Bedell is a new founder. She also, in speaking to Emily, or maybe it was Sarah Marie, she's been the one that's actually rank advancing more people in her team than any other leader across the company. And this was one of the ways that she was doing that, is she was basically doing this massive enrollment part. So what you would do, and you can go through here, but each team is going to open up a WhatsApp or Telegram. And we did talk a little bit about if you're really against WhatsApp, there are other platforms you can use. The thing that you want to be mindful of is you can turn on and off the messaging on WhatsApp. I know personally, if I was added to a text group and felt like there was 18 text messages every time I checked my phone, I would not want to be in that text group. Or if after that week of information, people were still asking questions on there, I would feel annoyed. So I do like that we can control what's out there. And then basically we're educating on 7 different essential oils. The Adaptive Breathe, Copaiba, Deep Blue, Digestin, Lavender, and On Guard. And so we will have videos for you. It is important for your teams to see your faces though. So I know some of you guys are like, oh, I'm not comfortable doing a video. Try doing one. If you don't want to use it, that's fine. You do have this backup, but you do want them to feel connected to your group. And if there's only 5 of you, maybe you each do one and then you grab 2 of the other ones from the folder. And then, you know, there's kind of some specific guidelines she used. So the videos are high quality, your lighting, your sound. And then each of these 5 people, she recommended makes a list of 50 prospects, because you know, like at least half of them aren't going to be interested in coming to a class. But then the goal is that you have at least 5 or more prospects coming to Wellness Week 1, where they're getting information dripped onto them for those 7 oils on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's nothing that they have to show up at the same time for yet, but they're getting dripped on information so that we are creating that value. Anytime you want somebody to take action, whether it's paying for a kit or whether it's taking time out of their day to hop on a class, you want to make sure that the value is higher than whatever action they're doing. If we are not really creating a lot of value in a class, and you know their time is worth more, you're not going to get people showing up for classes. And so that's been a common theme that we found, is a lot of people aren't showing up for classes, or they're having classes and there's only 2 people on the class, and so that doesn't feel really exciting, or the energy is not there. So if you're collaborating with 5 people, you're getting kind of that drip experience throughout the whole week. Then these classes, people are actually jumping on and attending, and they're ready to enroll, versus coming to a class, listening, and then having to think about it and never actually moving the next step. And so you have, she did two intro classes on Saturday. So there's 2 different time options for people. And then she was doing a business class on Sunday. If you want to do 2 intro classes on Saturday and a business class on Saturday as well, that's fine. So you can kind of adjust, but you want to have those scheduled. I've been playing around with the idea of just doing like a 15-minute business class tagged right on to the intro class, because people are already there and they can hop off if they don't want to listen to the business portion. So these are kind of basically the 5 steps. Is you would divide into groups, record those videos. Each leader is going to, make a list of prospects they're going to invite. You're going to schedule that intro to business class, and make sure you've got that on the schedule. Everybody knows and is putting it on their calendar, and you're inviting those prospects and offering the different raffles. And then I showed you guys the sheet to use. I would really like for everybody to put your teams on there so that we can track. Even if your team, like, And you don't need to, mention everyone that's on your team or whatever else. Like, I think we're all grown up, and maybe your team doesn't do as well as any other teams. This is not really a comparison game. This is more of a learning, a trial and error. I'm reading the book Mindset by Carol Dweck right now, and they talk about leadership and growth, what a huge difference there is from people that feel like, I want to appear smart and I want to appear talented. So they're not willing to make mistakes. So they don't actually learn, and they don't grow, and they don't develop those strong leadership skills. So I would really like us all to have more of that growth mindset, where we're willing to try something and have it not work perfectly, because then we can adjust it. So I would ask that you guys all please will use this tracker and kind of put your team on there so that we can identify what's being used. And like I said, the PowerPoint is here for both the business one, is that sharing, or the natural solutions one right here. You've got invitations that are all done, so you guys can use those. But in her experience where she did this, I did want to show you guys this. Sorry, just close your eyes if you're getting dizzy. She did this in February, and she had 85 teams participate. So that was 4,850 prospects that attended the intro class. Obviously, some people didn't attend that had been in the wellness groups. So out of those prospects, there was 1,905 team enrollments. And what I think is the most impressive is there was 33, elite rank advancements, 12 premiers, 8 new silvers, 3 new gold, and 1 new blue diamond. And I think that, when you're all focusing on this, we can do a lot of things in doTERRA. And I think that we can get distracted with all of those things. We are literally only paid on orders, that's all. So we're only paid when people enroll or when people place orders. So this is where I really want to focus August, coming up off of BOGOs, and before we've kind of got the convention energy. I really think it's a perfect time to focus on some massive enrollment. And I think any of us can make a list of 50 prospects right now. Like, I've been doing this for 11 years. I can easily make a list of 50 prospects of people that I've kind of talked to and showed some interest, but I haven't really followed up the way I should have. And so that's kind of the gist of it. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that, Kyle, before Carla?
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. So just in summary for everyone, we're basically using WhatsApp over the period of 5 days with a video or 2 each day about those 9 oils and some testimonials to kind of prime those people to want to be on a class for Saturday. That's really all we're doing. Okay. So if you were confused or complicated, that's basically, we're just using WhatsApp to prime people, inviting them to that group and to prime people. And so for that class that we're going to be doing.
And one of the key areas was showing testimonials too.
Right.
And just building up the excitement so they do show up for the class. Because how many of you guys have had people that don't show up to your classes? And so we are building that value.
So in this scenario, Nadia, you can sample. Sampling is not necessarily required. Obviously, you're always going to have a little bit better engagement when you can sample, but if you can't, or it doesn't work to sample, then they don't have to sample.
And Christina's, they didn't sample much because she was doing this across like her team is international, and so a lot of stuff was going on in like Colombia and a lot of other places, so they didn't put much emphasis on sampling. But like Kyle said, I think the more value you create, and creating an experience does help.
And I was also going to say, I'm excited to try this generically this time. And when I mean generically, when we talk about Wellness Week, we're pushing people over the course of that week. We're teaching them about Adaptive and On Guard and kind of those top oils. But I think in the future, I think this becomes much more powerful when it's actually specific to a specific health problem, right? So like if, I see Krista Randall's on here. if Krista Randall did a wellness week that's focused on pets, right, and the 7 oils that are specific to pets, then people tend to kind of react a little bit better when all of us search for things based on a specific need we have, right? Yeah, specific pain points. So you might set something up where you do week 1 is stress and anxiety or stress, week 2 is pain, week 3 is sleep, right? And it's almost like a study. It's almost a little bit like a study, but you're just being specific with those points. So I think it'd be good to do this generically, but I think that the cool thing about it is that we can prime people in a WhatsApp group via testimonials and videos to attend a specific class based on whatever specific pain point that they have, right? And I think that can be kind of a cool evolution of that, as we move forward. So,
and I think that's something you can even do this time, like know your audience, know the people. I knew one of the leaders was saying like they would be chatting and like, let's say I had a nurse in the group, I might chat over to Renee and say, hey, Renee, could you share that testimonial about whatever? Because I know she's a nurse. Like you can try to make it as custom as possible if you have a lot of, like she knew she had immigrant moms. So when you are speaking about adaptive to immigrant moms, you just change your language a little bit then versus if you were speaking to, using adaptive around pets. So you can still be mindful of your market. And so it will be generic, but keep that in mind as you're sharing testimonials.
Yeah. Awesome. I wanted to ask Carla. Carla, if you're on and you want to unmute yourself, I know that you guys kind of heard this last week and you and Jarrell have been talking about ways to implement it and kind of made some slight changes that you're excited about. And so I just thought, it's important for people. Sometimes people just need an extra idea for them to kind of like really latch on to a new concept. Yeah. And some of us are really great at creating those. And some of us need people like you to help us kind of inspire those. So if you're there and you can unmute yourself, that would be awesome.
Yep. Thank you for asking me to share. It's funny because at the very end of last month, I recognized that my team, and just for you guys who don't know me, I've rank advanced to gold, hit it a couple times, but I am a solid silver. And I knew that my team needed something that was going to be very, very simple for them to implement, and also something that was going to be very, very easy for sharers on our team to be able to use at their disposal as well. So last month, I thought to myself, okay, I had seen in OneDrop a text masterclass, and I decided to download it and check it out and started thinking about how can I use this. I remembered Christina Bedell's presentation at Leadership and how she had used WhatsApp. And so I thought, well, what if we did a text class, an Intro to Oils class that was a standing class every Thursday at 6 p.m. Because nobody wants to Zoom. I can't get anybody on Zoom ever unless it's a continuing education class that's a topic that they are specifically interested in. So the Intro to Oils class in a text format just seemed to make sense to me. So what I have is the WhatsApp group. It's called Natural Living Made Easy instead of the Wellness Week. And what we do is from Monday morning to Thursday before 6 p.m., any builder or sharer on my team can invite their prospects into the group. And with the preface of, hey, so this is what's going to happen at 6 o'clock on Thursday. If you want to join us live, you're going to get a special thank you gift. It's up to the Wellness Advocate. If it's a sharer, then it's up to that supporting enroller to provide the gift. And it's just a sample gift bag, right? So like all your sample things that you would normally give people. And then after the text class itself, you start with an intro video. So whoever it is that's teaching it is going to post a 2-minute video just introducing themselves, making it personal. And then the texting begins. And you just go in, I have a file saved that has all of the graphics. You go in, you put the caption with the photo, you just keep it going. Anybody that has a prospect in the group needs to be a part of the process. If they can't join in Thursday for whatever reason at that time, that's fine, but they need to at some point, jump in and serve their prospect, right? Show up for them. So we did it in a very condensed version. I didn't want to do it over the space of a week because I felt like I would lose people's attention. I wanted the pressure cooker experience. So we did from Thursday until Sunday evening. So that way it gives the general public the weekend to be able to engage. If they can't join in live during the 6 p.m. hour on Thursday, they have all weekend to be able to look at the information, to be able to read the back and forth testimonials and conversations. I love that with WhatsApp, you can directly message your prospect. So it's a way for you to be able to open a conversation with them based on whatever it is that they are commenting on or sharing about, whether it's their top 3 health concerns or the enrollment kit that they like or whatever it is, but you have a way of being able to track and follow up with them afterward. But and then over the course of the 3 days, which I adapted this from last week's call, Melina, is adding in those testimonials. So if you have a prospect that's in the class, then it's going to be your responsibility to share a video or a testimonial over the course of the 3 days. And I think that having the variety as well, having that folder in the Google Drive to be able to pull different ones that might be pertinent to what it is that somebody's interested in, I think that's amazing, and I'll definitely use that tool. But I liked the idea of a pressure cooker for 3 days, and then at the end of the 3 days, we take everybody out. That way it's just one prospect group, and that's it. There's no making additional groups. So that's why it's important for you to start that private chat with your person so that you have a way to be able to follow up with them, right? If they make a comment of, oh, I need to try this Deep Blue stuff, then you can open a chat with them and say, yeah, Deep Blue really is amazing. And you'll be able to mental check yourself of, yes, this is what I have to follow up with for them. We did this as a test run at the beginning of the month because I had somebody that I was sponsoring for Rise to Elite, and everybody gave us really good feedback. In particular, the prospect that I had invited into the group was a man, stay-at-home dad, and he had said, I love this format. It's great being able to like put the phone down and go do what I need to do, but then come back and I can just kind of really quick read through and check. And he was really into the idea of being able to have the convenience available. So this is just the way that we had started this. I think that what Melina's offering right now and what Christina created obviously is extremely successful. I mean, she built a whole organization through WhatsApp and not sampling anybody. But I just needed something super simple for my team because I'm a solid silver and I have a lot of sharers that want to be able to invite to a class, but people don't want to physically show up now because of whatever's going on, and they also don't want to Zoom because they're Zoomed out. So this was what I thought we could try, and so far it's been pretty good. So
awesome. So I want to ask a couple questions to make sure everyone, or maybe they're the questions that a lot of people are thinking. So you created a Facebook group, and your team, excuse me, yeah, sorry. That's how much control Facebook has over me right now. You created a WhatsApp group, okay? And you and your team, you and your leaders are in that group. You have a designated time, Thursday at a specific time, 7 p.m., let's say, that you start basically a 3-day, so Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a class, and you're using some graphics from OneDrop. So it's like a OneDrop. I'm assuming you're using some graphics as well as some videos from like doTERRA, Co-Impact Sourcing.
I actually included your guys' Get Paid to Live Healthy video at the very end because as a part of the graphics, it includes an intro to the business, why doTERRA, why you should partner with doTERRA. And so then I added in the Get Paid to Live Healthy video link. And then what Darrell and I had discussed just this last week was adding in a intro to the business link where she records a 20-minute video and we can just put that in and use that every week.
Okay. What other videos did you use for those people that are listening that are like, you know what, I think I would do better. I love the idea of what we're doing, definitely going to create the WhatsApp group, definitely going to have five, create this group with 5 people, invite people in the group, do the testimonials. But they're like, you know what? I think maybe I might do a class like Carla's doing. I'm not going to do a Zoom. I'm going to do like this, basically graphic version of this class with some videos. What other videos did you include in there?
Videos that we want to include are going to be based on consumables. The things that, because I want to be able to introduce LRP to people naturally. And so the graphics are all about the oils and, mini education class on the oils, because it follows the Essential Oils Made Easy format. But the videos, those testimonials are going to be about the consumables. So like the laundry detergent and being able to use the toothpaste and mouthwash, right? So, and it just needs to be simple stuff, right? I mean, if you feel comfortable gargling on video and, show your toothpaste, whatever it is, but just to have fun with it. I think that part of it, I mean, we even did a video with my kids. So making it simple, showing people that it is naturally living and that it's easy. It's easy to do. It's easy to shift those shopping needs and get better products. So
cool. I love it. I think it's awesome. And I think it's a great example of you kind of as a leader taking a look at your team and saying, okay, like, here's what our experience has been. Our team has, we feel like people have been zoomed out, and they're really busy and they're doing stuff, but we still want to create something that people can invite to. And I think that says a lot about you as a leader. And I think that everyone, needs to ask those questions. So thank you, Carla, for explaining that.
Yeah, and in the folder, I can also add Jennifer Rohr. She's another gal that's going for presidential. And I've done some cross-line mentoring with her, and she does the WhatsApp class like you're talking about. So I do have her class that I can share in the folder if you guys want those graphics. If you're wanting to try, and it maybe just be like, hey, we tried 1 week on Zoom, we tried the next week on WhatsApp, and you could kind of split test to find out what works best for your people. I do feel like there are pros and cons to both. There are people that are like, please don't put me on Zoom again. And there's other people that if there's not a set time that they need to go and be in a room, they are kind of scrolling through stuff, not really watching, and then they get too behind on the posts and they don't. So you can kind of split test and see what's most effective for you so that going forward, you get really solid on that. The only thing I would say is make sure you're really clear each week on what it is so there's no confusion. Because if your team is confused, then they will not follow up very well.
Yeah, awesome. There's a couple things that, if you're okay with me, Melina, kind of transitioning to some of the social media stuff. Some of you probably heard Carla use the word "get paid to live healthy," and so I'm going to kind of explain that. I'm going to explain. Maybe one of your questions. I think a big question a lot of people ask is, okay, well, Melina, I know you said you've been doing this for 10 years and you can make a list of 100 people, but I'm not you. I don't know if I can make a list of 100 people, or whatever the objection may be. The point being is we all have access to social media, and social media gives us the ability to reach unlimited group of people in the world, right? And so one of the things that we did, and you all have access to this, and it's free and everything, but one of the things that we have seen, we have some good friends that are in different companies, and one of our friends that is having probably, some of the most success in their company, they created a social media, kind of like a done-for-you social media process or system, basically, where every single day their team gets an email or a text message and it tells them exactly what to post. It tells them, how to engage with people, how to message people, how to have reels, how to do stories, how to do all of that kind of stuff. And so about 2-3 months ago, we felt like it was a pretty big priority to create something that would at least help our team know exactly what to post, and not just from a product perspective, right? Social media isn't about posting products. It's about creating a brand of who you are, right? Or the brand of who you are. And so it teaches you how to engage with people, how to, post personal development lessons you've learned, how to really create an entire persona that people trust. So that way, when you do talk about product or you do talk about the business, right, they know that they have, there's some trust that's been created with you. And so if you want to access, and the reason why I'm explaining this, the context that I'm explaining it in, is that you should be leveraging social media to build and grow your network, right? And to build and grow your network, you can use this program that we've already created for you. And it's called Social Wellness Advocate. Melina or somebody can post the link to it in the chat. Last week, we did the exact same thing, but we didn't record it, and sometimes that happens. But if you just go to socialwellnessadvocate.com, it's free. You're going to put in your email address. In fact, here, I'm going to share my screen. If you can make me the host, I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you how to register for it. I'm going to show you really quickly how to create a WhatsApp group and how to share the link to that WhatsApp group. And I'm going to talk to you about, if you are going to use social media, please understand that posting graphics on social media does not equal enrollments, okay? Just so that we're all clear with that. In fact, I think most of us would agree that most of the time posting graphics on social media, it creates awareness, but it very rarely creates enrollments. What creates enrollments both off of social media and on social media are the daily habits that we actually proactively do. And so I'm going to talk to you, in this next 15, 20 minutes, about 15 minutes, we'll keep it under an hour, but 15 minutes, we're going to talk about what those daily habits are. We call them 5, 10, and 2. And I'm also going to talk to you about a few different ways that you can never run out of people to talk to or connect with on social media. So real quickly, we're going to blow through these really quick. So I'm going to share with you my screen. And I'm just going to walk you through this so that you know. So we're covering a few things today. And if you, let's see. Okay. So we're covering a few things. Hopefully you can see my
Yes,
social
we can see it.
wellness. Okay. So I'm just going to go to socialwellnessadvocate.com. And this can be used in conjunction with any program or anything. So I'm ready to get started. Yes, awesome. I'm going to throw my name and email in there. And just so you know, we will only ever email you the content for Social Wellness Advocate. So you can see right here, important, please read. Sometimes, with all emails, sometimes it gets thrown in the spam folder. It stops, it starts. If you ever don't get the emails, you can just do a search for hello@socialwellnessadvocate.com, and you can find the emails. There's a little welcome audio. It's a little guide. And then you'll notice this thing right here. It says, get access to all the tools that you need. So I'm just going to bring this up. And you heard Carla talk about get paid to live healthy. So one of the things that we have been working on is kind of just a really easy, fun way to invite people to do the business, just to earn their 250 power of 3. And so there is this get paid to live healthy. That's what she was referring to. If you would like to watch that video, or you want to include that or understand better what this whole idea, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, get paid to live healthy, but it's a fun, easy way for people to be opened up to the idea of building doTERRA as a business, getting paid to live healthy. But the link to the video is right there, just so that you know. And there's some other tools. And so one of the things that we do during this, or that you need to know without diving too far down this rabbit hole about really being successful in social media, is I'm sure all of you can see social strategies, you can see social media makeover, and then daily social habits. So I'm going to click on 5-10-2. And 5-10-2 is going to bring up a little kind of like a tutorial about what 5-10-2 is. But this is the heartbeat of your social media business, okay? Or building on social media. We're not going to wait for people to respond to posts. We're not going to wait for attraction marketing to kick in, because that takes some time. We're going to be proactive. And so what that means is that every day the goal is, and some days you're going to do this, some days you're not, some days you're going to get distracted, some days you're not going to be on social media, and that's okay. So it is 5 new friends or 5 new follows if it's Instagram, 10 comments or 10 conversations, and then 2 invitations. Okay. So that is, and this breaks down exactly what that, what that is and that whole process. But I'm going to actually go on to Instagram and I'm going to show you what I mean by this. So we're looking at my Instagram right now, right? And let's say that I want to find new people to connect with on Instagram. Okay. And so one of the first important things to think about is there's a lot of cool features that you can use to do this and to organize this. So let's say I want to connect with 5 new people today, right? That's the goal, 5 new people. So I'm going to start searching. This is one of the ways that I like to use this. You can search on Instagram under places, or you can also search under tags. So let's say, for example, I'm a father and I want to connect with other, boy dads. So I might type in boy dad, right? There's 169,000 posts for boy dads. Now you can see that I'm following this hashtag. When you start following hashtags, your feed on Instagram will change. Okay. And I know we're kind of going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but this is how you find your people. So I want you to think about maybe 5 or 6 hashtags. And a hashtag is just a keyword that you can search something by that relates to who you are, right? Maybe it's DIY, home DIY. Maybe it's farming. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe, there's so many, but like, let's take, for example, this guy, and this is what's cool. These are all pretty amazing people that I would potentially, start connecting with. And I can go through here and I can be like, you know what, this looks like a really funny, cool boy family. I'm going to check it out. Brianna's her name. She has a decent amount of followers. I might kind of scan and kind of see if maybe she's already in another network marketing company. And so I don't necessarily want to connect with her or whoever it is. Here's this guy. It's a lot of, so she is in Adelaide, Australia. So I might say, you know what, I definitely want to connect with her. She seems super cool. And so how am I going to engage with her? I'm going to go onto her stories. I'm going to say stuff like, super cute, right? And I'm going to start showing up in her life, right? So that she knows who I am. I'm not just going to DM her immediately and be like, hey, I'm doing this wellness week. You have to be on, right? I'm going to start showing up. She's going to see my comments. I'm going to comment on stuff. And after a few interactions, I'm going to message her and say, hey, I love what you're all about. Maybe I might ask her some questions and then I'm going to make an invitation. So let's say that I want to remember this Zara girl, right? So what I can do is this. In the top right-hand corner, you see those 3 buttons? Actually, let's go back to, okay. When we go back to this picture, in the bottom, so right below the picture, in the bottom right, you see that little bookmark feature? It's right there. I'm going to press it. So do you see how when I did that, it brought up save to collection, right? So I can save this to collection and I can create a new collection called prospects. Prospects. Oops. Prospects. There we go. That was a tough moment there for me. Okay. So I have prospects. And now I can add all of these people that I'm interacting with into that. And if I want to access that folder, I just go back to my profile to the top right-hand corner to the 3 little lines. I click that and you can see that bookmark. It says saved right there in the middle. I hit saved and then I can click on, there's my prospect folder right there, right? And boom, now I know who that is. I can start and I can start messaging them and I can come in here and work through all my prospects. Facebook has a feature that is the exact same. It's just called collections. So if I go on here, just do this real quick. If I find a post that I like, and you can do this with any post, but if I wanted to prospect Stephanie Crane, who's already in doTERRA, I would just click on the 3 buttons, save post, create a new collection, call it prospects. And now I can start adding people into that prospect group, right? So I hope that that helps. Like, guys, no matter where you fall on the social media spectrum, it's time to upgrade our skills, right? It's time to, I was sitting with Matt Hall, who is a presidential diamond, who has a huge team in Brazil. We were sitting on the presidential trip and I asked him, I go, how do you build and grow your business? And he opened up Instagram and he said, he went like this. He goes, he went into his messenger. And do you guys see here that you have primary and general? He said that everyone starts as general and then he moves them to primary once he starts having a conversation with them, right? And he just basically went through and he showed me all the people that he is currently prospecting all over the world via Instagram using the search features that I just showed you. Like, like we were just saying, you can use tags, you could use accounts, you could use places, right? If I turned on my location, which is, here, I'll turn this on real quick. I could type in Los Angeles, and it will tell me, it'll show me all of the people who have recently posted in Los Angeles. And there might be some creepy stuff, you never know. But I can go through here and I can find people in Los Angeles that I might really want to connect with, right? And I can start connecting with them. I can do exactly what I just showed you. I'm like, okay, yep, I like this person, want to connect. I'm going to bookmark them. I'm going to add them into my prospects folder. And now I have this running list of people who I can work with. So I hope that is helpful to all of you. I hope that makes sense to all of you. There's a lot of ways to find people. I'm just going to give you one more really cool way to find people. This is a little tutorial on never running out of people to find. And I'm just going to share this with you. When you go on your Facebook profile, your Facebook or Instagram profile, they have so much data on you. They know exactly what products to advertise to you. Okay. They know exactly what products to advertise to you. You're like their perfect avatar for whatever it is. So let's just go to mine. So you can kind of see, like, let's see what they're going to advertise to me. Okay. They know that I'm working on some outdoor lighting. So this won't be a good example, but if I know every once in a while they are advertising, sorry, this probably, my son wants some new glasses, so I'm getting tons of ads for glasses. But if you are getting ads for something that is related to wellness, right? Like for a little while, I was getting ads for Beat Elite, like a pre-workout that Beat Elite had. And so what I did was I would go into the comments for that Beat Elite ad, and I would start networking with those people. I mean, those are my people, right? So if you get an ad that is targeted to something that you're interested in, related to wellness or your target market, go into that ad, talk to all those people, right? Connect with those people, add those people as friends, talk about, hey, like, what do you like about this product? It's like Facebook is already doing the work for you in gathering your target market, and you're just leveraging that and starting to communicate with people. And so that's one of the ideas, right? Commenting. There's a few different ideas. And again, you can get here by just registering, going to socialwellnessadvocate.com. When you register, this is going to take you to the thank you page right here. And then you can get access to the social media tools that you can use and also start posting and start using that. So I'm going to kick it back to Melina here, but the point I want to make is this. We have the opportunity to use this whole WhatsApp strategy, right? And you have the opportunity to expand your network on social media. Maybe you want to pick a new country you want to build in, or a new city, or you have a new share that's in a city and you want to find more people that share can help work with. And so you're going to leverage social media to find people in that area. There is an unlimited amount of people that are thinking right now. There's never been a time in the history of our lives where more people are thinking about money, their health, and their future. No, there's never been another time. It's never been easier to have a conversation with somebody about those things than it is right now. Everyone is already thinking those things. So you can connect with those people on social media, make an invitation to them to participate in this wellness week or whatever you're going to call it. Carla came up with a different name, and teach and educate them about empowering themselves. So I just think that those tools are super, super powerful for you to leverage and have success with this.
Thank you so much, Kyle. That is so helpful. And the goal really should feel like you never have ran out of people, because I know when things shifted and we weren't able to do it the same way that we were used to doing, people kind of just stopped and thought like, oh, well, I'll wait for this 2-week like quarantine to be over. Oh, it's going to be 2 months. Oh, it's going to be a year. Like it just keeps. And so I think now is really the time. That's something so easy that you can do. And I love that Kyle started off by saying, just by posting on social media, that is not going to equate an enrollment, but it can create a larger prospect network for you so that you can continue. Now, if this is something that you're just starting now, as he also mentioned, I really want to reiterate this, you don't just go and start spamming them in their inbox. You start to nurture a relationship, ask them questions, and then you can invite them. You know, maybe it seems like from what you're posting, it seems like this might be a good fit for you. Would you be interested? Then you can move on to there after you've established a relationship. So that's really important. I wanted to highlight that he said that. And the other thing I would say is, just make time to do this. What's nice about what Kyle talked about, this is stuff that like you could do at 11 o'clock at night, where it's not appropriate to be texting people or calling people, or maybe for, you know, in the morning, you can hop on and do this at 5 or 6 in the morning before you go work out. But I would say for me personally, like if you feel like your prospect pool is low, set at least an hour a day, just go in and do this and then do the other stuff. So, I mean, and maybe if it's an hour every other day, I feel like once you get in a groove, it's more effective than doing like 5 minutes here or 5 minutes there, and be really intentional. I set a timer, so I'm not sitting there consuming a bunch of stuff and getting lost in the social media rabbit hole where I'm not being productive, but I'm very specific on, you know, just be very specific on what it is you're trying to achieve, and being able to organize it in those folders helps you go back to it, so that, you know, you can even start putting them on spreadsheets and how many times you've contacted them. Like you can have that as your prospect list. So there really should be no excuses to why we can't be getting people to the wellness week or whatever you want to call it, so that we can start to really drop some more information on them. And like Kyle said, there is more people than ever now that are worried about their health. There's people, there's as you know, even the medical industry is kind of changing. There's so many people out there in the medical field that are probably looking for something else, or there's people that, you know, now I have to homeschool because I don't, you know, there's not a lot of options for my kids that I agree with. And now how am I supposed to homeschool if I've got a job I have to leave? So there's more people than ever looking for things that they can do from home. There's also people that are like, I love my job and I still have it, but they realize really quickly how one source of income is not great if at any time it could be turned off. So there is the openness and the awareness like there never was before. It's just about, are they going to be contacted by you or somebody else? Is it going to be through doTERRA or another source? And I think that we have such a huge gift here with that. Getting Paid to Live Healthy is a great video. There has been, I've gotten a little bit of confusion on the pay, and we were kind of debating whether it would be like the 25% fast start that doTERRA had talked about instead of the 20. And so that's just kind of like when you're looking at the numbers on that video, I just know anybody that hasn't watched it, if you watched it, you'll probably ask this question. You're kind of including the fast starts. And what we want people to understand is basically, it's going to be very simple. I'm inviting a couple people and I'm going to get my products for free. And then, oh, there's another step. I, you know, do that again and I get a $250. And so instead of trying to take somebody, I feel like we make a mistake of having our customers and our builders. And where the majority of our team is somewhere in between. There's not very many people that from the bat want to build a business. And so if you give them the option of customer or business builder, they're always going to opt for customer because that's more comfortable. And then they'll kind of watch and wait and see. But if you make it super easy for anybody to opt into like, yeah, I'd get my products free, or I'm already buying laundry detergent and all these other things. Like, if I get paid to buy them and they're better quality and easier for my health, then that sounds even better. So we really want to kind of cater to that sharer. And I think that this wellness week is a really fantastic way to do it, because they don't have to get overwhelmed by, okay, I want to make money, but now I have to eat, breathe, and sleep doTERRA and do all these 20 steps. Like, all they really need to do is invite people to this week where you're doing the heavy lifting and making it easy for them to opt in. So I am super excited about this. Please, please, please remember to put your teams in there so that we can track the progress. I would love for August to be a record-breaking enrollment month for us. August usually isn't a high volume month, but if we can have it be a record-breaking enrollment month, can you imagine how many rank advancements and how much growth we'll have, like when we have the convention kit, which the convention products, I mean, Kyle can attest to this, they are amazing. We got to go and try them and see them. You will really, really love this, especially for some of those consumables. And then we're going to go into holidays. Like, if I think most, especially like the ranks, you know, platinum and below, I think you could probably jump a rank or two by the end of the year if we get this massive momentum in August with enrollments and people are able to go and duplicate that. So thank you for participating. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited for what we're creating. All right.
Awesome.
And then I'll post the recording on the team page as well, and also in the folder link that I just shared with you all.